Let's call the April 21st Bristol Borough School Board meeting to order. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Cullen?
Here.
Ms. Curran?
She's excused.
Mr. D'Angelo?
Mr. D'Angelo is also excused.
Ms. Paglione?
Also excused.
Mr. Poliafico?
I'm here.
Mr. Parola?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Poplawski?
Mr. Poplawski's running late.
And Mr. Ciccoletti?
Here. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with said addendum?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Reports and presentations. Dr. Schaefer?
Yes. You're going to see each week of every time we have a board meeting, we've added a few more things to report. And I'll give the ESS, ERS, the ESSERS, and the comprehensive plan with mine. These are new regulations and guidelines from PDE. The normal timelines for submitting the district special ed plan and comprehensive plan, they've been altered because of COVID. These plans are traditionally submitted every 3 years to the Department of Education. But we recently learned that they've changed the dates. Our special education plan is due on July 30th. We'll probably have an extension for that until August, and Dr. Smith is working on that. The comprehensive plan is due March 31st, 2023. Well, the plan will be completed next year. I am going to start beginning all the preliminary work, get all the needs assessment components and all together. So next year, Dr. Davis can just put that right together. It'll be fairly easy, okay? And I'm working in conjunction with the Bucks County IU to do that. I'd like to congratulate Mrs. Rosado on her successful federal programs audit, her first audit, which was excellent. The Department of Education found that we were in compliance in all areas. There were no findings. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Jeswaldi for all of her support with assisting Mrs. Rosado with the audit. Very, very nice work. That was a monumental task and very nice work, believe me. As I report the last board meeting, we begin PSSA testing next week. And the PSSA and the Keystones pretty well continue through until May 27th. This evening, we are honored to have with us Dr. Felicia Ganther. Dr. Ganther is the new president of the Bucks County Community College. We're also honored to have Mrs. Carol Mignoni Ferguson, who is a member of the Board of Trustees and a former teacher here at the Snyder Girardi, with us this evening. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jim Sell. He is the campus dean and college success coordinator for the Bucks County Community College's Lower Bucks campus. So, Jim, it's all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Schaefer. President Ciccoletti, sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name. Borough School Directors, Dr. Schaefer, and Bristol Borough residents, it's my honor and pleasure to introduce Dr. Felicia Ganther, the president of Bucks County Community College. Originally from Los Angeles, Dr. Ganther holds a Bachelor of Arts and Master of Arts from Norfolk State University, as well as a Juris Doctorate from the University of Illinois. She moved to Arizona in 2012 to serve as Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs for one of the nation's largest, and I might add best, community college systems, Maricopa Community Colleges. In 2019, she earned a PhD in Community Development from Arizona State University. Dr. Ganther has a remarkable record of accomplishments as an educator, administrator, and a strong advocate for students. She has an extensive experience in crisis management, student life, academic quality improvement, among others. We at Bucks are very fortunate to have Dr. Ganther's leadership as the college's 5th president. Again, I am pleased to present to you Dr. Felicia Ganther. Dr. Ganther.
Good evening to the president, President Ciccoletti, to the members of this board, to my good new friend and hopefully mentor, Dr. Schaefer, before you leave. I'm going to come spend some time with you. And to the entire Bristol Borough community. I am absolutely excited about being here this evening to share with you just a few things about Bucks County Community College and to just bring you up to date and let you know what we're doing. And so I just want to cover a few things just to make sure that you and your constituency are familiar with our institution, what we provide. We do have well over 42 transfer programs, and when I say transfer programs, I am talking about transferring from Bucks County Community College onto a university. We have 22 occupational programs, and those are for students who are interested in going into the workforce, and that we have 27 certificate programs. I'm happy to say that we have over 30 as we began the fall 2022 semester. So we have a lot of things, but we also have a lot of students. And one of the things that people do not realize is that our institution is the #1 online community college in Pennsylvania, as well as the premier international trainer for public safety, primarily for fire schools. And so we're very honored and delighted to be able to be this, not only for Bucks County Community College, but for others. One of the things that I hear all the time when I'm out in the community is that Bucks County Community College is a beautiful college campus. And that's almost as much as they know about the institution. And so as a new president, it is my responsibility not only to share what we do, but also to let people know what the opportunities are available for them. And so, you know, above being a beautiful campus, above being an affordable and convenient location, above having the 3 locations to serve the upper, the middle portion, and the lower portion, above our online status is that we have something for every single person who comes to us. And so I would say that the most important thing for families that are in your district is to understand the value proposition of Bucks County Community College. Now, yes, there might be people who are legacies from universities in the state as well as in our neighboring states. Yes, you may want your son or daughter to go to a specific institution, and you may not necessarily consider Bucks County Community College. I'm not here to change people's minds. My job is to share with you the opportunities that are available at Bucks County Community College, and for you to make the most, the decision that will most fit your family and your family's trajectory. So the one thing that I share with people is, you know, how much does it cost? You know, people say, well, you know, I'm thinking about how much it's going to cost for my son or daughter, or for my niece, nephew, my grandson, my granddaughter to go to school. And when they graduate, whether it's an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, how much debt are they going to carry with them, right? And so I'll get back to the debt part, but I want you to just to see that it's cost about $6,500 in tuition and some of our fees, right? And that's every year. And if you look at the information that I've provided to you, the cost just escalates depending on the institution that the student is available, depending on the institution the student would like to attend. And then, you know, we're not even going to talk about what it costs per year, but overall, when they're all said and done with the bachelor's degree, how much is that going to cost them, minus any federal financial aid? And many of you know that, you know, when you're in the middle class, the ability for you to get free financial aid or Pell Grants is limited. So even though you have a student loan, you still got to pay it back. And you have to pay it back with interest. And so these are the things that I would hope that people would consider as they're doing it. Now, what I explain to people all the time is, if you want to go somewhere special, if you want to go to Temple, if you want to go to Holy Family, if you want to go to Penn, if you want to go to Princeton, wherever you want to go, it's almost a guarantee, 99.9%, that I have a transfer agreement with that institution. And the most important thing is, if you start with us, we're working very hard to ensure that when you transfer out, that there is a discount or a scholarship waiting for you, so that the cost of going on to Temple, the cost of going on to Delaware Valley, the cost of going on to DeSales University is now decreased. And so I just ask you to look at the bottom one, Del Valle University. We have a new partnership with DeSales that's the same. Basically says this: if you attend and complete Bucks County Community College associate's degree and you're ready to transfer on, you're going to get accepted into Del Valle University. right? You maintain your GPA, and guess what? Because you are a Bucks County Community College graduate, Del Valle is going to automatically discount your tuition by 50%. Wow. Okay? So you're automatically saving $117,000 just by coming and going to Bucks County Community College. And again, I said, we're more than just a beautiful campus. And we're very connected to the community. And I think most of you already know that. I mean, I'm excited to share with you all of the great things that Bristol Borough has done with Bucks County. But we are very connected to the community. And we're doing very interesting and exciting things. We're just inking a deal with Estee Lauder where we are going to help students who are interested in getting business degrees, specifically in supply chain. That Estee Lauder is going to support those students while they're attending school at Bucks. They're going to transition from Bucks to Temple. Estee Lauder is going to pay for them to work and pay for their college degree at Temple and at Bucks, and they're going to come out making well over $70,000 a year with little to no debt. This is the type of partnerships that we're doing. These are the things that we're doing in order to make sure that every young person who has a dream, that every young person who has an idea that they want to be successful, to every family that wants to see their son or daughter do much better than the generation before them, that we at Bucks County realize those dreams, those hopes, those wishes, those goals. So, what are we doing at the campus that's close to you? Well, I can tell you we're doing a lot. In the spring, we are going to be finishing up our new building. I'm sure that many of you have drove by it. I think it's 413, right? And you've drove down 413, you've seen them building, and we hope that by the time we get to May showers and May flowers, our doors will be open and we will be ready to celebrate our first students coming in for class. It is a 28,000 square foot facility. It is the state of the art in that we will be able to modify and change the inside in order to meet the demands of whatever occupational technical programs that we are currently putting into that building. This is just an overlook of it, and as you can see how within the different rooms we can move things around in order for us to meet the times and the day's demands. If you've also been over on campus, you've seen these orange barriers. We have a CDL training. We're working with institutions, we're working with corporations and businesses who need drivers who have a CDL. We're working with the Workforce Development Board for the county, as well as CareerLink, to make sure that people who want to get this training can get it free of charge through workforce development funds, okay? And we're not talking about making pennies coming out. We're talking about $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 with bonuses depending on which institution the student who graduates from these classes wishes to sign with. We're also very much involved in civic engagement. I know that our Dean Sell, strives to make sure that we are a lively campus, that we are civically engaged, that we are engaged in the political discourse as well as community discourse. And while I won't go through all of these things, this is just a testament to the fact that we want to be woven into the fabric of this community, and we want to continue to be a partner to show that we genuinely care about every single person who's in this community, regardless of where they come from, regardless of what their political background or ideologies are, regardless of the status of their pockets, regardless of those things. We want to make sure that everyone feels a space and a place at our Lower Bucks campus. Now, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't honor Dr. Schaefer. I didn't honor your president, your principal of your high school. I didn't honor the guidance counselors who come and meet with our team to support your students and making sure that your students understand all of the opportunities that are available to them. You know, when we were just talking before we came into this meeting, the ability for your students to come out with nearly 25, 26 college credits. Unbelievable. I wish when I was a high school student, someone would have told me that I would be able to save almost a full year of college credit being taken while I was in high school, and that I could have potentially a sophomore standing at a university of my choice. And that is one of the things that your principal and our Dean, Dean Sell, have been working very hard on to ensure that between dual enrollment classes on site in the high school, dual enrollment classes and concurrent enrollment classes on site at Lower Bucks, that your students are in that small 6 to 7% who are able to actually say, I'm a college student and I haven't even graduated from high school yet. And so I just want to share a couple of things. I don't know if they've been talked about in detail, and if they have not, Dr. Schaefer, I apologize, but I'm just happy to be here, so I want to share all these good things with you. The first thing is we're going to have a Bucks County Community College Assembly with all of your 11th graders. And that's critical, because at the 11th grade really is do or die. So we want to make sure that every student who's in the 11th grade understands that even if they think that college is not a space or place for them, that there is something that they can do post-secondary, credential, trades, occupational degrees, transfer on, be a medical doctor, be whatever you want to be, but know that you can come to our campus and we're going to help you find that. Next, career day. You know, one of the things with students is they only know the occupations and the programs and the degrees of the people that they come in contact with, right? I was just talking to a young lady, and I asked her, do you know what a histotechnologist is? Had no idea, right? I said, well, this is a person that helps to determine whether or not a person has cancer cells in their system. They don't even have to have a bachelor's degree. They could have an associate's degree, take a test, and they're making $80,000, $90,000 a year. Would never have an interest or an understanding of that, because that is not something that they've been exposed to. And so we are going to work diligently over the next 2 years to ensure that our students are exposed to as many careers and many occupations and many opportunities that they may not see in their neighborhood, that they may not know exists, that the opportunity for them, and often based upon their personality, the things that they'd like, that they would want to do. And then the other thing is that we're increasing the number of dual enrollment courses that will be provided on site in the high school. And that truly excites me, because it's helping students to see that they are college material before they walk across the high school stage. As I close, there's some other things that we're doing. Super excited. I'm sure that you have voted on many of these things or have been apprised of them by your superintendent and by your high school. But I will say this. This is the most engaged and most involved high school administration that I know of in our district. They are committed to making sure that your students have the best. They have high expectations of the work that we do, and we will continue to rise to the occasion to support your students, to support this district, to be here with you, to be a partner in making sure that every single student has success that they seek. You know, as mentioned earlier, I would be remiss if I took any credit for any of the work that's been done thus far. These two individuals, Trustee McNoney Ferguson and Dean Sell, have definitely been the backbone, the foundation. They have been the advocates and champions and the cheerleaders for this borough. And so I am indebted to them for their compassion, their passion, and their support of the efforts in order to secure the partnership between the borough and the college. So before I leave, there are some themes we're working on. So first of all, as you all know, we all had the pandemic, and there were so many things that we had to deal with. One of them for us was a decrease in our enrollment. We're working very aggressively to get back to 2019 numbers. That is my charge for our institution. Number one, because we want to make sure that all the students we want to retain them. We want to make sure that they meet and get to their goals. Second, those who said, you know what, the pandemic and college together don't mix, we want them to come back, because the pandemic is slowly becoming a part of life. We want to make sure that they come back, and then we want to make sure that we're recruiting the students that need us the most. You know, I just want to highlight this. There are some students who are not going to college after they graduate. The question is, what are they doing? And so we want to make sure that we are reaching out to those students and their families to ensure that they have a game plan, right? Whether it's military, whether it's trying to get into the trades, whether it's trying to get through some type of a job corps, whatever it is, we want to make sure that they are on a path to ensuring that they have a living wage, that they're not experiencing poverty, and most importantly, that they're looking forward and not, standing still. And so we want to definitely look at, again, we're more than a beautiful campus. We're more than a beautiful new building. We have a lot to offer to all of the students, and we want to be there. We want to create a culture of care. We know that many of our students who are coming specifically out of high school, who are at home on Zoom for a lot of days, a lot of months, and more than a year, they're suffering. And we want to make sure that we have mental health and other support services to help those students. We want to make sure the mothers and the fathers who've had to deal with life and their children and be parents and be teachers and all of those things, as they're looking at being burnt out, how do we help them? How do we support them? How do we create that culture of care? And then finally, workforce development. What you will see is there are going to be an extreme uptick of what I call occupational and trades programs, even to the point where we want to work with all of the local unions and have pre-apprentice programs in order to ensure that students who want to get into these apprentice programs have all the requisite skills and that they are automatically accepted to the apprentice of their choice. So we're working very hard to ensure that these opportunities are available. One of the things that I'm very proud of is the fact that we have food pantries at all three of our college locations. It includes food, and it also includes toiletries. We want to make sure that students and their families, regardless of who they are, if they need help, we're going to be there for them. We have a Bucks Care team, and we also have a basic needs site, which basically looks at all of the things that are being offered in the community and the state, and if they are resources that can help our students for free, then we're going to vet them and we're going to put them on this site to ensure that students, when our offices are closed and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and they need childcare, they're able to go to this site and find out how they can get the assistance that they need. This is my closing statement. Every goal, every dream, every desire will come to fruition at Bucks. And that is going to be my charge. And hopefully, as the 5th president and the 5th president for a very long time, that you will see that this comes to fruition while you are here. And so I want to say thank you very much. I do want to honor our board of the chair, David Breidinger, and the rest of my board of trustees who serve valiantly at this time. And that is the conclusion of my presentation. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Dr. Ganther,
Yes.
you speak with enthusiasm, and you're going to succeed. I could see it.
Thank you.
Good choice, Mrs. Ferguson. Your board did a good job. I was not aware of all of this. I have to admit that, being here in Bristol Borough, all of these programs, this is fantastic.
Yes.
And I think by getting the word out is what needs to be done, and it seems like you're doing it.
Yes, sir.
These are all, this is excellent. And you touched upon something that I know about, the histology program. There's a great need for histotechnicians.
Yes.
A great need, because I teach part-time at Drexel, and I do a little bit of work in the histology department, and I know that the instructor in there is like, Dave, nobody wants to do this, and I'm getting calls every day from hospitals, shorthanded. They're making the employees work weekends. There's a place over in New Jersey, I won't mention the name, a hospital that's recruiting just to work Saturdays, and they're up to $110 an hour to get somebody to come in for 8 hours every other Saturday, because there's no training. No one really knows about that field. It's delicate work, but there's 140 jobs just in this Philadelphia area. I don't know if the college was looking into something with the histology program, but if you are, that would be that would be wonderful for the area. But all of the programs that you have there seem to be, I never knew that. I never, and this is the first time and I don't mean this in a negative way, that, you know, the president of the college has come here, you know, to speak to the board, and it's a great thing to have 25 credits when you leave you know, high school.
Yes.
All those things are good, and I guess that partnership is what, you know, what's really working here.
Yes.
And it's great. It's all good news, you know, when you look at that first page and you see what the tuition is, and it's like, wow, thank God my kids are through college, you know, really.
Yes.
But this is wonderful. I had no idea. I had no idea.
Well, I will tell you that I will be back.
Good.
And I hope to bring more good news and hope to talk more about your students' success and those who've gone on. I think we have a young lady who's been helping us out with the Rotary, who's a graduate from here. And so we will
So
definitely.
can I ask a favor? You've come here to visit us. Maybe one day could I come and visit the new campus?
Absolutely.
I'll come with Dr. Schaefer and any of the board members. We'll make arrangements. I'd like to see what's there.
Absolutely.
You told us what's there, but now I would like to see that.
Absolutely.
I
We'd be
wish
happy, we'd be happy to do a hard hat tour, or we'd be happy to do a tour when it's all ready and there's students moving around. Your choice.
Let's wait till it's all done, Dr. Ganther. Yeah, right. At this point, if I step on some uneven ground, I'm afraid that something may give out.
Absolutely.
But we wish you luck.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Ferguson, Dean Sell, thank you for coming tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And Dr. Ganther, I just want to say we certainly benefited from our partnership.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we hope to grow with that as well. But I also would like to point out, one of the unique things about Bristol Borough is those 25 credits and the certification programs are all paid for by this Board of Education.
Wow.
They gave me a directive several years ago when we started all this, not to charge any students.
Wow.
And we haven't.
Wow.
This board picks up the tab for all of that.
Amazing.
Which is really nice.
Well, that truly speaks volumes of all of your work. And
Yes.
we look forward to continuing that and finding more ways to serve more students.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you
We
very
hope to see you again.
Oh,
Good
you
luck.
will. No
Thanks for
worries.
coming out and
Thank you.
informing us.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Val.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Dean. Wow, that was eye-opening. Okay, report on Title I, Title II, Title IV, easers and comprehensive plan.
You already did it.
You did that, Tom?
No, Title I, Title II, she's Title.
Title I.
I masters in comprehensive.
Hi. So yeah, that enthusiasm from Dr. Ganther was radiating. And I want to say hi to Miss Ferguson. Miss Ferguson was my former kindergarten teacher in 1980. Hello, Miss Ferguson.
Might as well.
Yeah, 1980.
She was the bad one.
Thank you. So Dr. Schaefer did a nice little recap on our monitoring. We did pass, I'd say with flying colors. We'll pat ourselves on the back because I think it's due. And you know, on this account, and what Dr. Schaefer forgot to mention was I was actually invited to speak at next year's conference. So we'll see if that turns into anything. But no, I appreciate Mary Jeswaldy's support and guidance through this process, and she did a ton of work for not only me, but for the district in kind of getting us prepared. And so I do appreciate that. We did receive in the meantime, in the last couple of weeks, our funding adjustment, which typically comes a little earlier, and I would like to say that they had given us a few extra dollars in Title I, Title II, and Title IV, very insignificant, and will be absorbed by salaries, and it's probably already spent. So we were happy about that. We are we'll be working on the 17th to start our school-wide planning. So as a school-wide Title I building, we have to create a plan that looks very closely at our data, and then we create an action plan on what to do to support that data, and what programs we're going to spend our money on, and what we're going to do. So on May 17th is an in-service day. The teachers, myself, and some parents, I've invited them to come too, so we can hear their input. They will be here to plan, and this is a time where we typically start doing that. I do know that as far as Title II, which is class size reduction money, we have always, for the last 2 years, we added an additional first grade class, again, based on our kindergarten data, and we are looking closely at that, and it looks like that would be probably the way we would go moving forward. So we'll have discussions about that. As far as Title IV and our well-rounded education, obviously you saw the presentation from Bucks County Community College, and part of that certification program is funded through Title IV, along with our PBIS incentives, which is our Positive Behavior Interventions and Support Program here at Senator Girardi, our Gifted and Enrichment Program, and then our Outrageous Program, which is serving our first and second graders, and our goal is to expand that program to include our third graders next year. And so those have been all successful programs that we'd like to keep going. We just started our PD session, our professional development with our teachers. We had a after-school 3 to 4 here today, and the focus is on this particular book, which is called Structured Literacy Interventions, Teaching Students with Reading Difficulties in Grades K to 6. So this is important for us. We have, based on our data, a lot of children who are reading below grade level, and this book, each chapter talks about a specific reading area and really hones in on how we can support our teachers in diagnosing the needs of our students and then providing effective, systematic, explicit instruction, monitoring their progress, and giving effective, succinct feedback. So we just got through chapter 1 today, and we had 7 of our teachers present to the rest of the staff. That's how we're doing it. There's 10 chapters, and I'm excited about it. I think it's excellent. It was a great PD. Everyone was engaged, and there's a lot for us to learn to best support our children and their needs. So unfortunately, this year's SPAC conference for our parents, that's the State Parent Advisory Council, has been canceled. So we won't be able to send any parents to that conference. I did offer to them at the parent meeting prior to this meeting if there was another conference or anything else that they were interested in, just to let me know, and we would look into sending some of our parents like we typically do. However, in the meantime, moving forward to planning for next year, there is a Keystone State Literacy Conference. It's going to be held in Hershey on November 27th to the 29th. I've invited a couple of our literacy teachers to attend, and that would, again, be, through our federal funds. I'd like to go too. So there's some great keynote speakers, and really get you excited about reading and literacy, and give you the chills. So we'll be sending that over to you soon, Chris. And then just a couple of other things. I met with Fred Cullen today, and he had arranged for a rep to come to look at the playground. And so the rep took some measurements. He's going to send me some plans. So probably 3 plans, like the Cadillac plan, the middle of the road plan, and then a plan, because we are in need of expanding it, upgrading it, and I did offer to the parents, let's start up a committee, and I handed out a couple of catalogs. They're going to take them home, show them to their kids, maybe circle some things that the kids would like, and then I'm going to send a survey out to the whole student population with those few that they've identified, and then maybe we'll present, or maybe I'll have some of our kids present on what they'd like to see on their playground.
Good idea.
Yes, because then it will come with, it's pretty expensive. So we'll set that up before the end of the school year, because we would like to get working over that over the summer, in hopes to have something done by September. In the meantime, though, we are going to get the swings replaced, like ASAP, and another apparatus, like little twirly whirl thing. Tomorrow night, we have a 6th grade gift card bingo here. Very cheap, inexpensive, $10 a ticket. It's to support our 6th grade trip. They're going to go to Dorney Park the day after school is out, and that's been a what?
The dance is tomorrow night.
Oh, I'm sorry. The dance is tomorrow night. The bingo's on the 29th. Yes, a lot of things going on. So there are tickets still available. We've had a ton of donations from grade levels, outside community organizations and businesses for baskets, gift cards to their businesses, and so for the most part, the proceeds from the bingo will be all profit and will reduce the cost of the student ticket. And that's what our goal is, to make that a little less expensive. And then we were hoping by doing it the day after the kids are finished that we have access to our buses. Right, Chris? Dr. Schaefer talked about PSSA. We have our girls' spring fling tomorrow, so girls will, about 200 girls are signed up with a date of whomever they chose to come to our dance tomorrow night, 6 to 8. We're excited to finally be back, because we obviously haven't done it over the last couple of years. And then our boys' dance will be May 6th, and we have our math and literacy nights in May. It's combined, and that's actually going to probably benefit us, because in the past, literacy nights were not as well attended as the math nights, and now doing a combination, we'll have everybody here, and everybody will get the benefits of that parent engagement and that time with their kids to learn some strategies to use at home. And that's about it.
Thank you. Congratulations on your audit. Not that we ever questioned anything. I know that when you do things, you do them.
Thank you.
You do them right. That was an excellent report. A lot of information. Let's leave the playground up to you, but let's do something big. Let's have the kids cut the ribbon. Let's do something. Think about something that we can make this really, really nice. You know,
Yes.
after 2 years, you know, with the COVID. So think of some things, and we'll have the students come here, or think of a way that we can make it really nice.
Yes.
And the board will fund the project. We'll get to see all 3 projects. We'll get to see, you know, what, you said that there's the plans.
Cadillac, the middle.
So,
And the
yeah,
economy.
so,
I'm
So-
already
And the
rooting for the
electric car
Cadillac.
that Steve
right?
drives.
So cars aren't even cheap anymore, so I didn't even know what to say about the cheapest plan, right, or the least expensive. I don't even know what to call what kind of car, because nothing is cheap anymore, but, you know, like, my goal was to put that rubberized surface like we have by the kindergarten area, and it's costly. It really is, and we're going to expand it. However, I think in terms of student safety and you know, its durability over the years, if you go out there and look at that mulch right now, it's,
No, I agree with you. Let's do it
so
right.
it's an investment. But I would love to have the kids involved, and so I want to hear what they want. It's not, I don't play on the playground.
Well,
So,
that's a good idea, but I think let's consider that surface
yes,
rather than the mulch. Sometimes that mulch, you could get a splinter or something, so.
oh, yes,
The rubber, it's a matting, right? That, and that area by the kindergarten, that rubberized surface, that's been there
13 years.
and it's holding up?
It is.
Okay,
It's
so.
holding up pretty well.
Yeah, that's messy, the other stuff out there, right? It's terrible.
All right, well, let's.
Also, in terms of student safety, so like, it's lifted, right? So the area for children with special needs, if they were in a wheelchair or walker, it can, very difficult to kind of use that ramp. And also where the kids use the swings, you know, with their feet, they dig it out, and so there's divots in there.
Yeah.
So if a kid was running, you could sprain an ankle, and so we really, we need to change that. And there's a lot of space, and there's flat surface, so I'd like to see open area for kids like to toss a football.
Yeah.
Those types of things. So
Okay,
even
right.
if we
Well,
could put a
let's-
basketball net, we just can't go, like Fred suggested, that upper blacktop, which is a nice flat surface, would be perfect, but my concern is it's too far from the school. So if there were any safety issue for us to gather 100 children, organize them, account for them, and get them back in the school, if there was a community
agree.
issue, it is way too far away. I would not feel comfortable with that.
well, maybe somewhere there in the parking lot, can we put up a basketball court? Can we put up a,
Well, a lot of cars utilize those spots there in the lot, so I don't know that that would be a good idea with balls hitting cars and stuff and kids being,
well, we could always close off a small area.
That's an
We
option.
could do that, so when, in your plans, if that's the case, we would need something maybe about as big as this stage. We could always put cones or something there, closer to the school, rather
Right.
than, like you said, having them go up on that lot, which was a basketball court.
I know.
We took down those baskets, but it would give they would be able to do whatever they wanted, play basketball, go on the swings, do whatever they wanted.
Maybe we
So,
could,
Think
I'm
about
sorry.
it. Go ahead.
Maybe we could swap out this upper part over here on Buckley Street for the parking lot. This up here is pretty useless, so why not just blacktop it and take part of the parking lot where it is now, or, you know, something to think about down the road.
Where's that at, Jeff? Where are you saying?
This part up here on Buckley Street, that's useless,
He's saying park up there.
Blacktop it.
Use the thing.
and make it a parking lot, and then
think
take
right
more
where the
ground
trash
back here.
is, you take
I
the
always
whole
felt
area.
that parking lot's in a bad spot anyway, with all the kids running around down here and everything. I mean, we all seen the issues that go on back there. You know, and take more of that for playground area. And we can just put a pedestrian bridge across the pond.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
idea.
mean, they have them, they're
Yeah.
made out of aluminum, they're, you know, they're
Forever.
expensive, I'm sure, but, wouldn't be much to it to put an aluminum bridge, pedestrian bridge across the pond from the
Yeah,
parking lot.
that's a good idea.
I mean, it's something to think about down the road,
That's a good
but I
idea.
that parking lot back there just never did it for me. I was always afraid of something happening back here, but
That's a good idea.
all that's wasted up there, so maybe we get some engineers out, or when they're doing the playground, have them take a look up there, see if there's something we could do, or just because you can't dig.
No.
You can't go 2 feet into that up there. The blacktop, drain it, and be done with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I think there's good drainage up there. Might be something to look at, yeah. Put some parking up there. But anyway, that's another good idea. So make a big deal about the parking lot. Let the kids get involved.
Yeah.
You know, let's do something. Let the kids come here when they decide what they want. And even if we start out small, we could always add on. But personally, just me, one of 9, I would say definitely go for that rubberized surface.
Yeah, we got the,
Oh, there's plenty of room.
yeah, we could go right behind
I-
where the doors are.
Yeah, I think in,
Cafeteria, you
in,
could have that whole corner for yourself. As you come in off of New Buckley, off of Buckley,
Mm-hmm.
you could have that whole corner can all be yours. And you don't have to do nothing but just put your playground. And we take the rest out and make it a parking lot.
yeah. I think if it's able, to use that area that Jeff was talking about, if you've been around the school at admission and dismissal, it's kind of congested, and, it always is a concern for student safety, as kids kind of dart in and out, is as much of a plan you could put in place to make sure that kids are safe, and, you know, everyone doesn't always follow it, because you have a lot of traffic coming through the parking lot. So if that was an area where, you know, parents could park and they could use that bridge that he spoke of or something, and having more outlets, because when it rains, I know that traffic backs up all of Buckley, all of Beaver. So, yeah, I think there are definitely some ideas and opportunities that we can utilize and
Yeah, that's
take
great.
advantage
That's
of.
a great idea. All right, well, but definitely I think that surface would be a good idea. And just make it big enough and then add equipment to it. The only, are you done?
I am.
Okay. Chris, I know that they're going to start using the school here for election. And I think we're using the back, correct?
Right, so I met with the officials that came, I don't remember their names, and we looked at the space, and the access to the parking lot is, I think, you know, to make it accessible for elderly or whoever, is to use the cafeteria entrances. So they'll have tables set up right there when they walk in on that part of the cafeteria. There's bathrooms in the faculty room, which is adjacent to the cafeteria. They like that idea. There's plenty of parking back there. The parking, we'll be here for a PD day, so,
Well, the question is that I didn't know, when they had reached out to me, they were talking about several sites. I actually thought they were going to set up here, up on the stage. They knocked that down?
so we looked at it. We looked at where the majority of the parking is, the distance to walk from
Maybe
the
the
actual parking spot into the school, and it's much closer back there, with more parking. And actually, since the kids aren't here, they can pull up along the curb, to be honest with you, run in, vote, and then leave. And the access to the bathrooms. There are no bathrooms around here. So,
all right.
the ideal spot, and they chose it
So
as well.
can we have some signs made? Because the first time that they're coming into the school, you know, we have those cones back there, and I always get confused myself a few times that I come in the back. So can we just make up some signs? Sure.
So you speak about being confused. So as I was leaving today, I don't know, 4:45, 5 o'clock, I'm watching a car drive in the exit, entering, and then I have a parent leaving, and I'm watching, and I'm like, now, I just have to see who this is and speak to this person. Person parks in a spot, gets out, and it's my Uncle Billy.
I saw somebody coming that way too.
I'm like,
just tonight.
he's like, hey, sweetheart. I'm like, Uncle Bill, you just went in the exit. Oh, is it? I'm like, yes.
Well, see that, because this is the first time, okay, so they can't
Right.
come in this way, correct? They have to come in off of Buckley?
They should enter off of Buckley and keep the traffic going, looping around, yes. So we would want to direct them that way, because what happens if they come in off of Beaver, now you have two directions.
Right.
It's not ideal for two directions.
Well, then we have to set that up. We're gonna have to let them know so that they get used to it.
Yeah.
Because if, the faculty's gonna be in here that day, correct?
Right, but they'll beat us here because they start voting at 7, right?
They'll start, yes,
Right.
at 7 they'll open, so we just wanna make sure that the traffic is, I always come in off of Beaver, but I never even realized that you don't come.
So that's fine when the kids aren't here because you don't have all that car traffic, you don't have children walking. But I think in terms of getting to the actual voting site in the back of the building, probably be easiest just to go off of Buckley. And swing right down and around. I mean, I think we would have access to Jim Denny on that day? Who could help direct or no?
We can have him on that day.
I don't think,
He's probably doing something.
Oh, no, you know what? No, he is hired that day.
see, he'll be a constable down at his site.
He's
So,
not available.
so do we have anyone that could help us with traffic?
We can find someone. We'll find someone.
It'll work.
Just the first time, because it gets a little confusing so that they start to understand the flow.
You might hit a point there, you might put some signs out there to use the Buckley Street entrance or whatever.
Even to direct them once they park, like if I know you could do some signs for us, like some sandwich signs that say voting in the rear of the school, parking in the rear, or something along that line to give them some direction, even if we put them along Buckley and Beaver as they're approaching.
All right, well, talk with Mr. Gatto tomorrow, Fred, have a meeting, and let's get some signs. So, you know, one way, I mean, like you said, I never realized when I come in off of Buckley, if there's an event back here, I come in this way off of Beaver. I mean, should there be a sign there saying do not enter?
There is a sign there that says do not enter at certain times of the day. It's small, so, and a lot of people
You're not setting a good
miss it.
example.
I'm not setting a good example, Mr. Parola says. I'm not setting,
It's-
I'm saying put signs up and I don't even follow them.
We're lucky that that congestion only lasts for a very short period of the day. So if everyone's patient and exercises good sense and common sense and
Okay.
thinks
well,
about the kids first.
Because there's gonna be a lot of people here that day, let's see if we could figure.
Is that section that was moved here a big polling place? Like with a lot of people registered?
1,000 people?
1,000?
You're gonna get between 700 and 1,000 people to vote.
It's from the
Wow.
high bay, right?
Yeah. Let's see, two, yeah, like a little over 800 voted in November. I was working down there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, you could get up to 1,000 people. There's 3 precincts in there. There's West 1, 2, and 3.
I think you're only using it for one, according to the sign on the
Yeah.
front door.
Yeah, but there's street in that west ward.
West Ward, there's 3 voting precincts.
So basically, it's like 3 machines in there for each ward,
Yeah.
but it's still one polling place.
So like West 3, does that mean anything?
Yeah, there's 1, 2, and 3, right?
No, but I'm saying, I think it's limited to West 3 according to that sign on the door.
I think the whole West Ward is coming here.
Well, we'll look at it when we leave.
Yeah, so the whole West Ward starts on Otter Street and ends on 10th Street,
Okay.
including Radcliffe, Mills, Mulberry.
I just feel like it had a number associated with it, on that sign on the front door, which they dropped off for us to
This
post.
used to be for the.
Because one of the
The old one
patrons of the
Schneider was
Grundy
the
Tower had come over, and she wanted to know why not all of the West was
was
voting
over
here.
here, the old school.
So where they put the rest of the West?
I-
They would have. to-
Again, I just feel like we'll look at the sign when we leave and see what it says.
Yeah, that's confusing. I thought the whole West Ward,
It's whoever was in the Hybos and whoever was in the senior centers, they're coming here.
no, it's
Senior
not,
center.
no, that's,
No,
that's,
the
not the
senior
West
center's
Ward
coming.
then.
That's what they told me.
no, it
It's not
cannot,
the West Ward.
I talked to Bob Harvey.
Well, I'm saying, Tom's saying it's whoever was up
Yeah,
there.
I talked to, it
That's the
cannot
north,
be
right?
the North Ward because the school is in the West Ward.
I know, but I thought they made an exception.
Thank you, Tom.
You think the north and the west is here?
Nobody in
I
the
don't
North
think
Ward
that.
was notified that it's.
No, they're
changed
just not
to
using the
Hybos.
senior center, in the west.
I'm in
So I
the-
vote in the North, it's still.
I'm in the
Hybos.
West.
You didn't get a notice.
I'm in the
Jeff,
West Ward,
did you
Tom.
get a notice?
I think it's the
My dad
North
used to
Ward.
say that, never worked.
You,
I could be wrong, but,
you
Well,
didn't
we
get
gotta
a
read the
notice.
sign. I thought it was the
Yeah,
west.
so you would have to get a notice.
and
You're
so
the-
would Chris,
Yeah. Wow, we got confusion.
maybe.
Oh, boy.
And it would make sense to have
Could I go
just
look at the sign?
one ward,
Would that be okay?
you know what I mean? To
One,
vote, the
yeah,
other two
like
would stay
West
that
3
same.
or something.
No,
No,
you don't
it
have to
would
be.
be
You
just
can
like
carry
senior,
on with
just
the
the senior
agenda.
center.
I'm
One,
almost,
2, and 3
I'm
now.
almost positive it's the North, because they were complaining about the handicap accessibility
Over Hybos.
into the Hybos.
It all works.
I know it's north,
I-
and I think it's those.
So we're north and west.
That's what I was told.
North and west.
I'm gonna go look at the sign.
Yeah, you'll have
Is that
over
okay?
2,000 people.
Well, let me look at that sign.
Okay, well,
I read that on the way in, I forgot what the hell it said.
See? I mean, look up at the high school, they do the whole East Ward up there.
Yeah.
route.
yeah.
How
Yeah.
many people got there?
A lot.
Yeah,
yeah.
you got 2,000 people
Yeah,
go
but
through there.
all three wards vote in the west,
Yeah.
over here at the senior center. But I remember before, they were talking about the north beach, something about the Hybos.
Can't get in the wheelchair, not the
Yeah, there's a
handicap
step up and
accessible.
then another step up.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Yeah,
They
I
made an
thought the
exception
whole,
'cause we're so close.
I thought the whole West Ward was coming here.
Doesn't make no sense to have just one.
One of the
Yeah,
precincts.
they would have to have all here, Jeff. They would have to, that would be too confusing in town. They would have to have it all here.
Afterwards, no coffee.
We're gonna have people driving around looking where to vote. when
You
somebody
see,
comes
now
out.
Okay, well,
Why-
let-
why-
Kelly,
Now you would have the senior center
If she has it.
going to the Hybos. If the West Ward was, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, wow. Oh, geez.
I told you I'm half that. There it is.
I'll be sure to put it back when we're done.
It's a San Francisco pen.
I saw 49ers.
Yeah, it's broken.
West.
What is it?
Yeah, it's not north.
Notice of change of polling place for Bristol Borough West 2. One precinct.
West 2.
Stupid.
Why would they
Yeah,
do
you
that?
might lucky if you get 200
That
people.
ain't
That's not making sense.
Yeah, just the activity center. The senior center, right?
That's where they vote. All three wards vote there.
Yeah.
Why would you only pull one out? Where's the other two going?
I guess they're staying there.
And it's only one machine, right? They're right, they have 3 machines.
Oh, yeah,
One-
they-
No, no, there's
That
two
doesn't even make
machines, there's
sense.
6 machines in there.
They,
Right,
we're
but
gonna
I'm
call
just-
tomorrow and get clarification on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole West Ward I thought was coming here. Okay, all right, well,
Thank you, Kelly.
yeah, there would have been a mess on election day because
Absolutely.
people would
We'll
have,
find out.
okay. All right,
Mr. Chicklady, before you continue, I wanted to say something that Mr. Zotto brought up. I attended that art rages by the theater with the first and second graders. I thought it was really fantastic. The kids had the ball, the teachers didn't know what their kids were doing, so that was even better because the theater people were the ones teaching them. And there was a lot of people here, right? There was a ton of people here, and I'm glad that you're talking about expanding it to the 3rd grade. It was really neat. The kids had a ball. It was so much fun. And I was just looking at, and it was funny because I was saying it last night, I was telling my wife, I was looking at Mrs. Rosato's face because she was videoing the whole thing. The whole time she was doing it, she had the biggest smile on her face, the whole time. And I said, I was talking to my wife last night about it, and I said it to Al. much she enjoyed it, and I did too, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was really like cool for the kids, and it was, you know, like stuff that they were really interested in, and I'm glad they want to expand it to the third grade too. That's really nice. So thank you. That's it.
Okay, let's, public participation. No one is here from the public. I guess we bored them. So let's go to routine monthly business. Item number 5.
Approve minutes of March 10th, 2022 meeting. Approve the list of bills for April 2022. Approve the treasurer's report for March 2022.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Poliafco. Any questions? All those in favor? Nays, abstentions? New business, item A.
Motion to approve to advertise for and issue request for proposal to obtain an investment grade audit for guaranteed energy savings. Project to be funded in a whole or part by ESER funding. Administration will take such steps as to obtain proposal following the advertisement and provide a recommendation for the selection of a firm conduct investment grade audit during May 19th, 2022 board meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Poliafco. Okay, let's give a little report on this. Who wants to?
We can do that. GISA is a program set up by statute in Pennsylvania to allow school districts specifically to renovate their buildings. It's not for new construction, but for renovation projects to improve energy-related construction, which would be HVAC, windows, plumbing. It could be any type of thing. And this particular type of GISA work can be funded by the ESER funding. It qualifies through that process as well. And the way this works, it doesn't involve bids because the specific contractors who are part of this project or part of this program are specifically qualified to do this. So it's a limited universe of entities that can do this. So the first thing to do is to have an RFP for different, basically project managers to come in and do an investment grade audit to see what the needs might be for an energy purposes, to review all of your systems at the building, and then provide a proposal that would indicate how you would save money over years that would essentially pay for the work to be done. And then you evaluate those different project or those proposals. You pick the one that you're the most comfortable with, and then that entity who's selected will then proceed to select contractors who can qualify to do that work. So, and it's a kind of a fast-track version of the construction, but it's one that's been done successfully in many places. Neighboring Bristol Township School District has done it, I think, for 2 projects now, if I'm not mistaken. Morrisville's done it. I'm sure other districts in the area have done it. And I know Mr. McHugh and I spoke with a person from the IU the other day, as did Mr. Nagy, the engineer from Gilmore, and also got him connected with a fellow named Damian Spar from Site Logic, a company that has done this everywhere, who can guide the district through this very successfully. So it's, I think, a pretty exciting opportunity for the district to be able to get a lot of really quality work done and over time pay for itself. So that's the synopsis of it. So.
Thank you, Mr. Trulove. And you have knowledge of this, like you said, so Mr. Trulove will be guiding us through this process, but it looks promising that we could possibly have air conditioning in all of our rooms and better heating and ventilation, along with the window project.
Yeah, it's an opportune time to take advantage of it.
Yes,
So, yeah.
and as Mr. Trulove stated, that the grant that we got, the ESERS fund, okay, that was a little over $5 million, that the money that from that fund can be used for these projects.
Yep.
So that's great. Okay, so any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Motion carried. Number 7, personnel.
Motion to approve creation of the position for lead teacher. This position would be part of the Bristol Borough Education Association collective bargaining agreement, subject to memorandum of understanding with the Bristol Borough Education Association.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions?
I have a question. Has, I don't know how far along you are in the process with this, but has the, sat down with the union or anything like
Yes.
that? Or is there any?
Yes, we've already met with them.
Everything's good?
Yes, it is.
All right, excellent.
Any other questions? We're good? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item B,
Approve the approve the attached job description for lead teacher.
Second.
Mr. Poliafico, Mr. Smith, questions? All those in favor? Aye. Nays? Abstentions? Item C,
Approved to advertise for the position of lead teacher. This individual must possess a secondary education certification.
do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions? All those in favor? All those in favor? Aye. Nays? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, item D,
Approved to appoint George Gatto as Director of Facilities and Security effective October 1st, 2022.
do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, any questions? Okay, just a comment here. Mr. Gatto had retired as the assistant principal effective June 30th. He also wore another hat the last several years as managing the custodial and maintenance crew. So he's agreed to come back and do that part of the job as a director of facilities. He has a 3-year agreement. Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstention? Information and discussion. Next board meeting, May 5th, 2022. Okay, I'll go around the horn here. Mr. Smith?
I have nothing.
Mr. Cullen?
I have nothing also.
Mr. Parola?
I just want to thank Kelly for all her hard work. She really does do a lot, you know, so thank you.
I agree. Mr.
Thank you,
Poliafico?
Kelly.
Yes, I'd like to have on the next, for the next board meeting, open up some time for discussion on the tech school. You know, just to talk about possibly enlarging the amount of kids that we send. I know we haven't really done that in quite a while. And maybe possibly if it's, you know, if it's advertised or whatever, some parents I've been talking to, some few parents have called me in with different questions. Nothing, you know, out of nasty or anything like that, but just the way the process is. And I'm not sure of the numbers, if there's been an increase this year for
There's been a slight increase.
a slight increase on the amount of interest to go in. But
Numbers that we're taking in.
right, right.
How many did we send, Tom?
Well, I mean, we could do this at the next meeting, I mean. but
I was
unless
just,
you
I was
got
just curious, how many
questions?
Currently, our enrollment's 55.
Okay, so
So we could only have a certain allotment based off of the 100% of the students that send, and our allotment, I think, is 2.9%. So at no time can we have any more seats. So if there's 1,000 seats, we're entitled to 2.9% of them.
Do we ever, were you saying we're sending 55 now? Do we ever run over that number as far as kids applying?
It does happen if we get transfers, like if somebody comes from Bristol Townships and a junior, we'll accept that in, because we're not gonna, you know, we're gonna honor the request to keep them here.
So, we have some students that were over our allotment, is what's happening? We have some students that want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the interest this past year, I think, right?
There's always,
From
there's always.
The interest, I'm
graders.
not sure, but I know we've added like 1 or 2 more.
All right, let's talk about
Yeah,
that at
we
our
can
next
set some
meeting,
time for
because,
next
yeah, if
time.
some, if there's a cap on it, right, if there's a cap, then we have to come up with some type of a, how do you do it, a lottery or something, or?
Well,
Well, we
Tom,
have
if I'm not
to, I
mistaken, the
think-
tech school makes the selection.
They make the selection.
Yeah, that part is understood, the parents understand that, you know, it is what it is. As far as the actual enrollment, how many students we send that first year, ninth graders.
So you want to set, well, the ninth grade.
We
you
send
about
15,
16?
14, whatever it
It's
is.
usually around 15.
About 15.
Can we increase that amount?
But that also
Not according to their
includes
guidelines.
sidewalks, too, and
Can we
other
buy
kids that
seats?
live in the borough that
We
might
could
go
talk,
to, like,
if you make time.
Can we- Yeah, get some information,
any of them.
just.
Well, I mean,
get-
it's most likely like 20,000 a seat
All
to
right,
continue to, as you keep going. Because
But-
like 3-4 years ago, what happened was we had a huge increase in ninth grade, and we had a $250,000 increase because we sent so many kids the one year. So there's a trade-off.
I understand, but how much does it cost us to, educate a kid here
About,
in Bristol High School?
a little bit about the same, right? 20 some thousand.
14,000.
Yeah.
Roughly 14,000.
okay, well,
So another,
yeah, it's that, let's look at some numbers.
yeah.
Let's
it's
talk,
a
that's our
discussion.
job. Yeah, it's a good-
Discussion, and if parents happen to come that have questions, that'd be, that's good.
Yeah, we could look at that. I mean, even if we incrementally increased it, if there's an interest, let's see what's,
But,
let's
Jeff,
talk about
even,
it.
Mrs. Rubzada brought up a good point. I was listening back here. Not only our kids in the school do it, but we have to open it for St. Mark's kids.
It's all the borough kids.
And charter
Any
school.
of the
Any
charters
kids, you know, you
can
can be
apply.
homeschooled.
It's not
It
just.
doesn't
being there.
necessarily
I
go to
understand.
just our,
I understand what you mean, to boost that number up. I mean, that's,
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. I mean, we could talk about it.
Yeah, so
Just set
we'll
some
just
time
need-
For the next meeting, Tom.
We'll just need to know the rules, as to how much we can increase, what the fee's gonna be, and the interest in,
From the students.
in a number of students. We'll talk about it.
but Chris, once you commit to that, I mean, you have to stay at that point? Like if you say, we went from 50 to
There's a problem with if 40 kids put in, they pick 15 to go.
Right.
Okay, but it's not like you could pick number 25 and not number 16.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody's number 31 on the list, you'd have to take 16 through 30 before you could take 31. You can't just pick and choose.
No.
I'm just
nobody's-
saying.
Nobody's saying that.
No, but I'm just explaining how it goes. Like,
Yeah.
you're a specific number to what the total
That's
people that are
understood, and the
interested.
parents, understand.
That's
the
their
process.
lottery system.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the lottery system. They understand that part.
They run the lottery system, so if they just say, we have 50 seats, and they're running the lottery system, they're the ones that are picking the 50 seats.
Correct.
Do they
And
not
there's
have to take a
criteria.
test to
Yeah,
get in
so
there?
that we could increase that to
Well, that's a
53,
part of it, no?
54,
Don't
if
they-
we
don't
wanted
they
to,
have to-
right?
they have to
Yeah.
submit
But
their
it still doesn't
academic, their
guarantee.
behavior,
You
their
know,
attendance, all
send
their
20
records,
instead of 15
and then
or,
they have however the
18 or
textbook
30,
reviews
15.
and
Let's see if
vets
there's
the
an
That's a part of the
interest.
process,
I'll talk to
right?
Yeah,
Leon.
there's no assessment.
I mean, I don't know if we could buy
Okay,
seats or
but
whatever, but we could.
they
if-
take
look
what
at
their
We set some
academic.
time aside to.
And some districts don't fill their quotas either.
Hey, Chris,
What's that?
what's
Some
your
schools never fill
criteria
their
for them to
Right,
get in
right.
there?
That's more of a time.
Pensbury never.
No.
When you
They
get
got
Dr.
it.
Schaefer,
Christ, they
he
got
wants
it.
to know what the
think that is.
criteria is to get in
That's
there.
Yeah, they should fill more.
Okay, hold on,
That-
one at a
that's all
time
set
here.
by them. I'd have to go through that with them.
So I think there's confusion here. Is it a lottery where they just pick a number and
No.
Joe gets it?
No, there's a criteria. They look at everything.
Yeah, it's based on,
They look at
absentee.
discipline, grades.
Grades.
Okay.
you know.
But I think the way they review the paperwork is done by a lottery,
Right.
Right.
right? So if there's so many that apply, you get a number, that's the order that they review it.
Yeah, so when you go there, if I went today, I would get number 1, say. Say you go tomorrow, you get number 13. That's your number, okay? That doesn't mean that I'm first and you're 13. That's your number, so when they decide who's going, that... if
But they review all of them.
They review, but they pick out. So if they pick number 13, you're going. If they didn't pick 1, I'm not going. But it doesn't mean 1 is before 13.
Doesn't make sense.
This means you got your information in.
Wait a minute. They're looking at them, their academics from grade school or middle school, whatever you want to call it. And I have this and you have this. Our grades are the same, our attendance are the same. But I had 100 on discipline and you had a 50. Now, are you still in the same pool in the lottery, or are you removed now because you didn't meet the criteria
Could
of
be.
what that is?
You could be.
Because everybody's
You
equal.
can
Could be removed.
You can be removed. But if you're both equal,
Then you're a lottery and you pick.
I'm number 1, you're number 13. They pick out ball 13. You're gone. I'm not gone. Yes, but they review all of that.
I got
You
it.
could have 100 average, somebody could have a 70, you're both equal when it comes to picking out a hat. That's how it
Okay,
works.
Jeff, anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
so
good.
we'll-
That's great.
That's how it works.
Tom, we'll talk about that
Yeah,
the next,
yeah.
Dr. Schaefer, you have anything?
You can't discriminate
No, I don't.
against.
Well, I
So,
understand that.
next meeting, though, we will be, just an FYI, we will be voting on a tentative budget, preliminary budget.
Mr. Trullo?
Yeah, briefly, an executive session was held tonight at 6 o'clock. All board members who are here tonight were at the executive session, along with Mr. D'Angelo, myself, Dr. Schaefer. Informational items, collective bargaining issues, and personnel issues were discussed at the executive session, which concluded just before this meeting started. That's my report.
I have nothing, so I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second?